From Software just hooked me up with an in-depth hands-on with a mech. No, not that one. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. Today, I'm going to break down for you all the main combat mechanics, weapon classes, mech types, and upgrades you'll get access to throughout the first chapter of the campaign. If you've played Armored Core in the past, you need to know a lot of this new stuff, and if you've never played Armored Core before, you definitely need to know it. So I'm Alex, let's get to it, and if you want more on Armored Core 6, stick around, hit subscribe. Armored Core has a big focus on constantly juggling ground and air combat, depending on sometimes split-second factors. This creates a balancing act between vertical and horizontal combat, requiring you to know when it's the right time for one or the other. Energy management is very, very important, especially in the air, but movement is generally faster on the ground, along with rapidly refilling your energy gauge. Although energy is more abundant on the ground, some incoming attacks like explosives will punish you for hanging down there too much. The boss battles really emphasize this point, mixing in attacks that are sometimes easier avoided in the air or the opposite, easier avoided on the ground. One early game boss was this building-sized machine that made the fight less about raw, dexterous combat and more about managing your boost energy to actually physically navigate your way up it. Since airborne energy management is so important, upgrading your generator as soon as possible will make a big difference in your total capacity and its recharge rate. Your equipped core can contribute to this as well with its generator output adjust stat. Also, your boost slot can really improve how efficiently you launch into the air, move around, and how quickly you can quick boost. Dark Solars and Elden Ringers, that's dodge roll. Although this combat system is heavily focused on lock-on targeting, you can install an upgrade to your mech that allows for manual aiming, if you want to treat this more like a traditional shooter. The ammo reserves and recharge of your 4 equipped weapons is something you'll need to constantly be aware of in Armored Core. Instead of having to look down at the far bottom right of the screen, look at these indicators around your reticule to know when your weapons are ready to fire again. The outside ring is your right and left arm weapons. The inner rings are your right and left shoulder-mounted weapons. This extra sidebar indicates the weapon here can be charged before firing. It can also show the weapon's heat. And this one on the left is empty because I have a shield equipped there, and that gauge will fill up as it takes damage. The different weapons you equip will be better at either raw damage or will have a higher impact value. Impact builds up this ACS strain meter, resulting in stagger when it's fully filled. During stagger, all of your attacks will be direct hits, kinda like criticals. So initiate combat with high impact weapons, have your best damaging ones ready to go for when they're staggered. Stagger can be inflicted on you as well, and your attitude stability will dictate how susceptible you are to that. The other generalized stats of your mech listed here are AP, which is pretty much like your total health. Defense performance is your damage mitigation, kinda like armor. Boost speed is how quickly you move, thrust, and boost. Current load is the weight of your equipment, and end load is kinda like the energy weight of your equipment. If either is over your max limit, you won't be able to start a mission, unless you get a specific upgrade which I'll touch on later. Assault boost, which you're seeing here, is like your sprint or dash, and it's a big component of the combat system. Outside of its basic faster traversal function, its battle utility is where it really excels. While you're assault boosting, you take less stagger damage and inflict more stagger damage. It's often beneficial to attack out of assault boost whenever you can. Think of it as your dash attack. You can't do it all the time, but it's a great rushdown tool. You can also just bash yourself straight into someone during assault boost to inflict a small amount of stagger. You can eventually unlock a kick move out of this as well. So that's pretty much the basic fundamentals of the combat system, and to quickly summarize my personal thoughts from actually using it, this all controls phenomenally well once the gameplay clicks for you. and the boss battles I got to play were on par with some of the best I've seen by From Software, and that's saying a lot since they're the kings of boss fights. The speed and verticality of Armored Core lend themselves perfectly to their modern style of boss design. The different leg types, which are pretty much like different mech classes, will greatly alter how your mech operates, moves, and approaches combat. Also, your equipped legs and equipped arms both greatly influence your equipment load limit. The different leg classifications you'll get to choose from throughout the first chapter of the campaign are bipedal, reverse joint, tetrapod, and tank types. Bipedal are the default legs you'll start with, and these are going to be good for both ground and air combat, and they're pretty fast overall. These are the well-rounded jack-of-all-trades mech type to choose. So pretty much Mecha Mario, or if this is the wrong audience for that, Mecha Wretch. The reverse joint type are nimble, lightweight, and have very fast movement capabilities. It also gets an energy-free boost when launching off of a surface, which makes it great for transitioning quickly between ground and air combat. The downsides of the reverse joint type are that it can't take a ton of direct damage, and its low maximum load will limit the amount of heavy stuff you can slap onto it. The tetrapod type is perfectly suited for anyone who prefers aerial combat. This has the ability to hover, locking its current elevation. Your energy drains a lot slower during a hover, letting you stay airborne much longer than any of the other early game options. Also, more recoil from your weapons is absorbed while maintaining a hover. It's not very fast in the air though, and can be a pretty large, easy to hit target. Then we have the chunky fat cat of the group, the tank type. This one is the high damage absorbing, ground combat focused powerhouse. Its super high load limit and flat recoil reduction to weapons fire makes it perfectly suited for piling a bunch of large weapons onto. The tank can also drift a little bit after a quick boost on the ground, but its aerial combat is definitely its downside. After completing arena missions, you'll start unlocking OST chips, which can purchase things in the OS tuning shop. These upgrades will be socketed into this expansion slot on your mech, and can add entirely new gameplay mechanics and mech-altering systems. Here's all the ones available in Chapter 1. Boost Kick lets you do a new kick attack out of Assault Boost. Weapon Bay lets you toggle between 4 different arm weapons in place of shoulder-mounted ones. Weight Control will let you start missions even if your mech is overburdened, and allows you to purge weapons during a mission to reduce weight. Manual Aiming unlocks your reticule so you can play this more like a shooter. Quick Turn lets you quickly rotate your mech to the side or reverse directions. Assault Armor lets you do a big energy AoE around yourself, which deals damage and neutralizes incoming projectiles. Pulse Protection lets you plop down a barrier to create dynamic cover. Pulse Armor creates a barrier around the mech itself, which can absorb incoming damage. Terminal Armor gives you a similar barrier, but this one triggers right before your AP or health reaches 0. There are 4 separate upgrades which flat out increase the damage output of either kinetic, explosive, energy, or melee attacks. Direct Hit Modifier will increase your direct hit damage, which is similar to critical hit damage. Access Speed lessens the time it takes to hack and interact with certain things during a mission. ACS Dynamic Deflection Control Tuning will increase your overall damage mitigation. And last, Repair Kits Optimization will increase the healing potency of your limited use Mextus. I apologize to everyone everywhere. Weapons come in 3 different damage types: kinetic, explosive, and energy. Your equipped FCS will dictate the tracking assist and homing properties of your weapons, with different values for close, medium, and long range. Your arm slot can also influence target tracking, with the firearm specialization stat. Now here's all the weapon types you'll have access to throughout Chapter 1. The assault rifle deals decent damage and impact, being your basic starter weapon. The napalm bomb launcher leaves a burning AoE on the ground and can be shot vertically or horizontally depending on if it's charged. The machine gun is a bit faster than the assault rifle, but is also less accurate. The pulse gun, or bubble blower, fires very rapidly but is quite inaccurate at a distance. The grenade launcher is slow to refire, but it hits with a giant explosive AoE. The shotgun is somewhat slow, but obviously works well in close range. The laser handgun fires a precise beam and can be charged to improve its effect. The burst rifle fires precise single shots, or when charged, a 3-round burst. The plasma rifle is high in damage and does a large energy AoE, which can also be charged. The Gatling gun holds a ton of rounds and chews through them pretty rapidly. The linear rifle shoots quick, accurate projectiles and can be charged. The bazooka is faster to fire than the grenade launcher, but with a smaller AoE. The handgun shoots a precise kinetic projectile. The burst assault rifle fires in a sequence of accurate 3-round bursts. A different variant of a grenade launcher, functioning roughly the same as the other one, but with slightly different stats. The laser rifle is accurate at long range and can be charged to increase its power. The laser shotgun is a bit more accurate than the regular shotgun, but with less impact. The missile launcher fires a volley of rockets and can be locked onto multiple targets. The pulse blade is a melee weapon, and you can combo attack twice with it or do a charged attack. The pile bunker propels you forward to hit with its spike, and its charged attack has such short reach you gotta be within sniffing range. What do mechs smell like? The laser blade hits in a wide horizontal arc, or 2 of them if it's charged. Shoulder-mounted weapons, the missile launcher shoots 4 rockets and can lock onto multiple targets. The laser cannon fires a straightforward energy beam and can be charged. The plasma missile launcher fires an AoE bombardment of energy projectiles. The vertical missile launcher shoots 4 homing rockets into the air before coming back down. The plasma missile launcher fires 3 mini energy rockets that spread out before detonating. Another type of missile launcher, this one shoots 10 homing rockets in a sequence. The split missile launcher will fire 1 rocket which breaks apart into smaller ones before impact. The active homing missile launcher fires 1 slow but strong payload. Another vertical missile launcher, this one fires 8 rockets into the air before returning back down. The dual missile launcher shoots 2 rockets in different directions which V-pattern out to the sides of the target. Now shields. The pulse shield is your basic starter shield with pretty high damage mitigation. This larger and heavier variant has very high damage mitigation and impact dampening. The pulse buckler is a smaller, less absorby shield but weighs less. This other pulse buckler weighs a lot more but has very high impact dampening. By the way, when you're using a shield, they have a version of perfect block called Initial Guard. If you see a weapon on the enemy highlighted with a red square around it, or see this indicator on your screen, the first 1 to 2 seconds of deploying your shield has a window where it can drastically reduce those incoming hits. That's pretty much it, the basic stuff you need to know at the very start of Armored Core 6. I'm eager to dig in deeper when this launches, and consider sticking around, because I'll definitely be doing more with the full release. The roughly 4 hours I got to play early just skyrocketed my hype for Armored Core 6, and hit me up on Twitter at BoomstickAlex or down in the comments if you have any direct questions I might be able to answer. As always, I'm Alex, and thanks for watching this to the very end.